Hello and welcome back to Unqualified Critics, where we cover all things retro nerd. This is David from Unqualified Critics, and today we have some pretty big news from ToyShock about their virtual pinball tables. Got some major upgrades in the pipeline. Now, unfortunately for all of us, it's been a pretty quiet couple months on the announcement front. CES started with a bang. There was major announcements from everybody, including ToyShock, but also Arcade One Up, II Arcade, and we've seen some big moves from the Legends Ultimate as well. But then everything's basically gone quiet. We have an idea of what products we'll be getting for holiday 2020, but the details and the specifics aren't there yet. And I know a lot of us are excited to get that. So I saw a video on PDubs YouTube channel. He covers ToyShock extensively, has a really good relationship with that company, and is a good source for ToyShock info. So if you want to know more, recommend you check out his channel. But he broke a video today with some news that covers all of that, the specifics of what we're going to get from ToyShock this year, and I want to share that with all of you. There are a couple different elements here that he covered. I want to break it all down. The first thing, and one of the most important parts of the announcement, the ToyShock pinball table came out at $399 holiday 2019. And the consensus seemed to be, if you're a casual fan, it's a pretty cool table. Kids seem to like it a lot. I've heard from a lot of people on YouTube and beyond that would say, oh, my kids love playing this. So it was kind of good enough for that purpose. But if you were more of an enthusiast, there were some issues, namely flipper lag. When you're playing pinball, precision and timing is so important, and you hit that button, you need it to react immediately. That was just not the case with the ToyShock. I was looking at potentially buying one last winter before we ever knew Arcade One Up would do a product. And that was actually what sealed the deal for me to not buy a table from ToyShock, was that flipper lag. And no disrespect to their product, I just saw that and thought, well, it's not really for me. But they announced at CES fixes were coming, we just didn't know specifics. Now we have the specifics. They fixed the flipper lag.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
The entire table now runs at a smooth, solid 60 frames per second. High scores now properly saved. There was an issue, I think, with some of the tables that you could play on the cabinet. The high scores wouldn't consistently save. Apparently that's been solved. They've even upgraded the plunger that you can use, the hardware plunger, to launch the ball. The legs that the table stands on will now be adjustable. And the bezel is going to be one of two potential improved designs. Apparently this is still in testing. I've seen both potential bezels. They were both at CES, and they're both a huge improvement over the original bezel. So no matter which direction they go in, this is going to look better. It also will come in 4 skin variants, so it's still the same tables you got with Haunted House. They're all Gottlieb tables, but if you like one of the tables over the other, like I think the black hole table looks pretty cool, for example, you'll be able to pick one of those and buy it. And all of this will still just cost $399, so there's no price increase for all of those improvements. That is targeting August 2020 for retail release, well in advance of the holiday season. So if you've held off on this and you're thinking about it now, that could be a good time to jump in. We still don't know when the Arcade One Up product is coming. Is it delayed? What are the specifics? It's probably going to be a little more premium than this, but it's also going to cost more than $400. So $400 seems like a good entry point for you. This would probably be a good time to pick up one of these tables. Now, one of my favorite bits of news here, though, and really big respect to ToyShock, they're not leaving the original purchasers out to dry. They're going to have a PCB swap program that they will mail out to you, a new board. You can swap it in your table and get all of these benefits. So the hardware benefits won't be there, obviously, the adjustable legs, the new bezel, better plunger, and that's completely fine, by the way, because when people bought these tables, none of that stuff was even being talked about. But they're going to fix all the software issues, and that's what matters, and that's what ought to be happening with these products. If you ship a product, like when Arcade One Up shipped Street Fighter 2, there was an audio glitch. They should be fixing that for people. That's not what you wanted when you bought the product. When people bought this ToyShock, I'm sure they didn't want flipper lag. So they're going to be fixing it. It sounds like for free. The specifics aren't totally clear yet. I think we're going to hear more soon on this. But you would even get that upgraded PCB in June. So if you already have one of these at home, keep your ear to the ground on this and make sure you get in on that upgrade. So again, big respect to ToyShock. That's respecting your fan base. That's how you build loyalty. Hats off. Now, in addition to those improvements, that's still the basic level table that ToyShock makes. It's the 1.2, but they're calling this other product that they teased at CES 2.0. That's the big daddy. That's the upgraded table, more directly to go head to head with the Arcade 1-Up virtual pinball. And it looks really good from the early images, but it's still very much a product in development, as PDub notes in his video. They are targeting a holiday 2020 release, but it sounds like that's not at all set in stone and could absolutely slip. So this may be a while coming, but it looks pretty compelling nonetheless. This is that table that has the large 24-inch play screen, but then it also has a monitor in the back box to show the scores and the animation, a full LCD monitor, not just the LED score readouts. And pricing for that is now being pegged at 500 bucks. If it's as good as it sounds like it will be, then 500 bucks will be a great price. 2 monitors, I'm guessing higher quality controls. I don't know if this will have haptic feedback, but I will bet that it will. And the reason why, I know they're targeting Arcade 1-Up with this. We know Arcade 1-Up will have the haptic feedback. I don't think ToyShock's going to want to miss too many of those check boxes. I think they're going to want to check all the things off on the list that Arcade 1-Up has, and then give you the choice. Do you want to play the Gottlieb tables, or do you want to play the Zen Studios tables that you can get on Arcade 1-Up? And that kind of choice for all of us is awesome. So that's all the information we have for now. I suspect we're going to be hearing more in the next month or two about particulars. How will that PCB swap program work? Also, hopefully this will pressure Arcade 1-Up to bring to the table some news on their pinball. They've mentioned in a Facebook group pretty recently, within the last week or two, that they have a huge announcement coming soon that's going to rock the community. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea if that's pinball related, but they're overdue to talk to us about pinball. I'm hoping we hear something soon. And in the meantime, we've got ToyShock to hold us over. So check that out. I'll put a link below to the product if you're interested in buying the 1.0 version now, but it wouldn't hurt to wait a few months and get that 1.2. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, I hope I've earned you hitting the like button and hitting the subscribe button so that you're aware when we push out new content, and stay up to date on everything from Unqualified Critics. I'll talk to you guys again really soon.